LGBTQ is an initialism that stands for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer or questioning. It is used to refer to a diverse community of people who have different sexual orientations, gender identities, and expressions. The history of LGBTQ people dates back to ancient times, when there were examples of same-sex love and gender diversity in various cultures around the world. However, the concept of having a distinct sexual identity did not exist until the late 19th century, when medical and scientific studies began to classify and pathologize different forms of sexuality and gender. Homosexuality and transgenderism were often seen as deviant, immoral, or criminal, and LGBTQ people faced persecution, discrimination, and violence from religious, legal, and social authorities. The first LGBTQ social movements emerged in response to this oppression, seeking to challenge the stigma and stereotypes attached to LGBTQ people and to advocate for their rights and acceptance. Some of the early pioneers of these movements include Magnus Hirschfeld in Germany, who founded the Scientific Humanitarian Committee in 1897, Henry Gerber in the United States, who founded the Society for Human Rights in 1924, and Radcliffe Hall in Britain, who published the lesbian novel The Well of Loneliness in 1928. The LGBTQ movement gained momentum in the late 1960s and 1970s, especially after the Stonewall riots of 1969 in New York City, which sparked a wave of protests and activism against police harassment and discrimination. The first Pride marches were held in 1970 to commemorate the anniversary of Stonewall. The movement also became more diverse and radical, as groups such as the Gay Liberation Front, the Gay Activists Alliance, the Street Transvestite Action Revolutionaries, STAR, and the Radical Lesbians emerged to challenge sexism, racism, classism, and heteronormativity within society and within the movement itself. The LGBTQ movement faced many challenges and setbacks in the 1980s and 1990s, such as the AIDS epidemic, which disproportionately affected gay men and other marginalized groups, the rise of conservative politics and religious fundamentalism, and the backlash against LGBTQ rights initiatives such as anti-discrimination laws, hate crime legislation, military service, marriage equality, and adoption rights. However, the movement also achieved many victories and milestones during this period, such as the emergence of prominent LGBTQ celebrities, artists, politicians,